lifted.
And we are live. And we are being you gratitude call,
Yes.
like I don't know what to call it, with Rachel Silber and Helen Gitlevich. And can see our names because we have lower barrier, expand and receive.
No, I guess we do. All right. So then, yeah, we could
But
lower
that's
barrier.
okay.
That was for us because Helen and I were chit-chatting. I'm just saying. Helen and I'm Rachel. That's
Yes.
Helen. And we
Uh,
were
this is
chit-chatting
Rachel
before.
and this is Helen. Yeah.
Yes. And we're both facilitators of access consciousness, of being you. And how does it get even better than that? So being us, yeah, that off, and now our name appears. So we were pre-talking.
But it's not
Having
completely
foreplay.
talking. We're kind of like we're looking at different topics, different things. And I love what you said that a lot of times that we look at things a certain way and
Okay, so
expect it
just
to
to
be.
clue you guys in, so these conversations are about gratitude. We are using the Access Consciousness tools. Sorry, Helen, we just have to go through the technical stuff. You can find out more at accessconsciousness.com. And if we do use the funny words that sound like gobbledygook Swahili, they're freaking awesome. They're magic wands to change all sorts of things, and you can find out more about them at theclearingstatement.com. Back to you, Helen. What is reality?
What is reality? And what, like, how come we cannot be grateful for everything? And part of it, we were talking about that we have expectations. We have our own points of view of how and what and when and where and who all of the things has to be. There is
So
like,
just to clue you guys in, because you haven't been around for the last 15 minutes that we were speaking, not to get into specific details, but just saying what is being us, and um, are we being us? Are we living in our reality? Are we choosing our reality, or are we living through other people or what we would like for other people? We're talking about different family members and friends, etc. So are we looking at that, or are we looking at where am I in the computation of my life? And
yeah.
so
And
back to you.
well, it's not back to me. It's pretty much, are we living through other people's worlds?
Well, okay, so I'm going to stop you right there because this is huge. Are we living through other people's worlds, or are we living through our filter, our kind of
Our
interpretation,
expectation, our expectations.
our expectation, our projection, our perspective of what we think, thoughts, not so good, what we think is cool for that person, or what we would like for that person to be able to fulfill what we quote unquote think would be really awesome in this reality. But the thing is, we're not even looking at reality, we're looking at our very small um,
And it's
interpretation.
not even our reality, like, because that probably came from generations of our parents who projected those realities on us. It's like totally fictional realities, how it's supposed to be X, Y, and Z, which never is.
Yep.
And yet we are expecting it to be X, Y, and Z. And if it's not, then we try to fix it
Yeah.
and try to change it. And then we get frustrated, and there is no us even present or accounted for. We're no longer being. My
And
God, like,
the thing
I'm
is,
outside, so I have so many like crawly things going on the computer and on
that's
things.
okay. Let them be. They're contributing. Whenever we start these conversations, and actually, I remember even in the advanced body class when your daughter Rachel was working on my body, a big wasp, came and landed on us, on me, on my body as she was working, um, because they just wish to contribute. So, what if you would
Yeah,
be
there are a
willing?
lot of ants crawling on my computer. So, what does that ant would like to contribute right now
It's
to
giving you
our
some
conversation?
little antibodies.
Antibodies, yeah, because
Antibody,
ant,
oh my goodness, antibodies to consciousness, antibodies to this reality,
yeah,
antibodies to so many perspectives. like what I really got from our conversation, Helen, is that there is this greater picture that we think, again, going back to the thinking, that that's the way to be, that that's the thing to do, that that's what we ought to be choosing. And the thing is that that may be true for us, or it may be just a point of view that we've bought about the, the greater picture. It's kind of like what I think in the allowance call, the extension, Dane was speaking about it as the vibrational realities of the vibrational realities of the vibrational realities. Like
Mhm.
when you look at something, I saw a picture of an actor, and in the it was who is it? Oh, it was the wrestling dude, and so he's got the Hulk Hogan, he's got the mustache here, and then over the mustache it becomes like his face again, and then there's another Hulk Hogan, and then another Hulk Hogan, and then another, layered. And I was looking at that going, that's a perfect visualization. It's like, are we, is this real or is this Memorex for anybody who's is it live or is it Memorex? Well, the same kind of thing. Like when we're so accustomed to our interpretation, to our point of view, to having these blinders on, we're not actually seeing what is. We're not present with what is. We're not aware of what this is and what this is creating, or how would I like to interact with it. We're on this autopilot of, this is what's considered good here, this is what's considered right here, this is what ought to be done, because if they would just make this choice, then their life and living would be so much greater. And then the thing is that for them, that may not be the case.
No, and we actually not not only that we are limiting it, we also have the glasses on with different filters. It's just like in that story that I talk a lot on my podcast and in the classes with the lady and the laundry. Remember that one?
Yes, but tell it because somebody maybe.
Somebody might not heard it. A young couple moves into a new neighborhood, and in the morning they wake up, and she looks out of the window, and she's like, "Oh my God, this woman doesn't know how to do her laundry," because it was in the old times when they hang their laundry out. And she's like, "Oh my God, it's all splotchy, all dirty," and it happens every single day for a couple of weeks, maybe a month. And she's like, somebody needs to tell her. Maybe I should go and tell her. And then one day, suddenly she looks out the window and it's bright white, kind of like all the sheets, all the kind of like things are beautifully laundered. And she's like, "Oh my God, somebody did tell her how to do it." And the husband looks at her and says, "I woke up earlier today and I washed our windows." And that's basically what's going on. We
But we
look,
don't realize that we're looking through our
no,
own
we
personal
think it's
window.
the other person's uh, wrong, or they're not choosing, or they're creating their life the way they're creating, and that's a wrongness, or it should be this way, it should be the other way, or they shouldn't choose this. But we're looking through our own judgments, through our own prism of experiences, which is again another virtual vibrational reality
Yeah.
where everything, like, the definition, like, remember X's definition of reality? It's when two people agree upon something. And when they agree something, the reality is there. It's solidified, it's being presented. Doesn't matter if it's true
They're
or not.
sustaining it.
Yeah.
I use a string a lot of times, or in this case, a USB cord, to show it, because visually you're agreeing on a point of view. But the moment that you let go of that point of view, that quote unquote reality is no longer sustained.
Yeah.
It can now have the malleability to be something other than solid and real. Now, when you get 7 freaking billion people all around the planet holding on to points of view,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of rigid, solidified, quote unquote, reality
Yeah.
that, but says who? You know?
Mm-hmm. And there is no right and wrong. There is only what is. And if we let go of that, it pretty much allows us to create difference for ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm looking at my battery on the computer, and it seems like it's going down pretty rapidly.
Aw.
But that's okay. I think we have about 15 minutes still left.
Okay. Okay. Pretty cool. I was
And then I'll
wondering,
go
your
home and
messaging your your daughter. Her daughter just went on a field trip, you could say. So I was wondering if that was
no, it's like, yeah, I think I better go plug it in before our live kind of like I disappear from life.
all right. No, you never disappear from life.
No, I
That's a really
don't.
cool thing.
But it's and I'm still with you. I'm just going to grab my phone and
My
um
drink and my
now
everything.
the thing I think I might get another one upstairs. I don't have that many hands at this moment.
Yeah, no, better support the phone, the computer. But what's really cool in our conversation is looking at what works for each of us. And are we actually living our life, or are we living um, based
Somebody
on
else's life.
somebody else's life? Yeah. Instead of enjoying living like ourselves, like being us and choosing what works for us, if we're so fixated on living to fulfill somebody else, or to fulfill someone else's needs, or to fulfill society's or this reality's points of view, if we think that that's the correct way to go. Like, where are we in the computation of our life? And what if it wasn't a computation? Where the fuck are we? What is being us, and what is choosing for us and including us, and looking at what delights us and what's enjoyable for us, like all of those things. There's the green wall. uh,
Yeah.
like all of those things that we don't typically look at very much. We're so accustomed to listening to the louder, quote unquote, needs that may not be that person's needs even, but are based on our assumptions, our points of view, our filters, our lenses, our glasses of what that person may require.
And what's interesting, the more we concentrate on the problems, on what their needs are, the less, first of all, the less they would do something because they all their actions mostly out of alignment and agreement or resistance and reaction.
Exactly.
But what if we be grateful for whatever they're choosing?
Exactly. And allow them.
And
Allow
allow,
them.
but whenever we are grateful, there is always allowance because you cannot be grateful without the allowance. Oh, hi, baby.
Oh, you got my little
Yeah.
hair.
And with everything that's going on in the world right now, with the more we are grateful for whatever it is, the more grateful we are for what's out there, the more we are in allowance of that.
And we resist far less.
Yeah,
We enjoy far more, we resist far less. And that's a huge
exactly.
thing. We have such this tendency to um to try to be getting things, quote unquote, right, to try
Mhm.
to we put so much pressure really on ourselves, and on life, on living, on everything. We put so much pressure rather than relaxing into the possibilities that are around us all the time, and to choosing what works for us in the moment. Are we
Mhm.
actually choosing what works for us, or are we so fixated on what's going to please person X, Y, or Z? What's going
And
to
how we
fit
can please
their
them,
world? What?
how we can please them.
Yeah. How we
So
can
a lot
please
of it is
them.
about like for me, I found out a lot of my actions stems from trying to make people like me.
Yeah.
And at this moment, I don't care anymore.
That's where the being you without hiding actually came in. Like, would we be received? or, oh my God, we're going to come out of hiding. Like, is the world going to explode? What's going to happen if we come out of hiding? Right. And now notice in the little title, it used to be being you without hiding, all like same words, but now it's just being you. And really it's being us, each one of us. And today I'm on the, if anybody who watches this goes into Instagram, into the Being You Adventures page, on their story, those little circles on the top, because I had no freaking idea what a story is, much. My daughter's trying to teach me. But on their story, I'm doing the Takeover Thursday today. And the thing is that I went into the, first of all, 6 months ago, they sent the forms, for the Being You facilitators to fill out and to show up. And they make it so easy. And yet I refused and I resisted. And I, la, 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 I don't want to do that. And because I thought that it had to be about getting something right, about having people to like me. And somewhere in, I don't know what this has been over the last year, our conversations, our adventures, our doing out of control clearings, our, whatever it is, there is sound, Facebook user. You
There is
just,
a sound. I think you need to click on the video.
yeah, probably click on the video and it'll give
Video.
you the full
Or there
answer.
is like a little microphone. There is a little microphone there that you need to click. I think you need to write it because
Yeah, but I don't know if it'll, in Facebook groups, just click.
yeah, I'll try to go. I'm not sure which one is it from.
I have no idea. I don't know where they saw it. If it's in the group, it won't let me comment in a group. But if
Yeah,
it's someone who's watching through a profile, they'll see
yeah,
that. So, anyhow, uh,
yeah. And it's like again, that's why we want to gratitude, because
yeah,
the more we are grateful for ourselves, then we stop kind of like looking for validation, stop looking for compliments, stop looking for people liking us, and just being us,
but I
being an
also have
allowance.
to add to that. With that Instagram takeover, I noticed a few things. First of all, I was willing to show up. Like I recorded videos and stuff. No
Mhm.
hair, I mean, it's just whatever I was in the morning, earlier in the morning for the day. That's how it came out, in the afternoon being recorded. Like I did not make an effort to put on a filter, to try to dress up, to try to do anything specific to bring up a particular judgment in people. I was just willing, because to me being you is being you, raw, real, vulnerable, natural, as you be. And you can also be anything else. You can be dressed up and you can be anything. But if everything in life and living is so curated in order to receive a particular, um to be liked, then
Mhm.
how much are you actually enjoying? Are you being there, or are you just putting up a front or a facade that people may
The
interpret?
image, the image that we like to project.
Yeah. And how does that work for you? Are you enjoying image, or are you ready to just, or are you, it's not about ready, it's about,
It's
are
about, are you
you
actually willing
walking
to
vulnerable?
enjoy? Yeah. Are you willing to enjoy life? Because with all those barriers and projection and expectation and judgments and fear of judgments and kind of like projecting how people should see you, how they would like to see you, all of that is a waste of energy, which we can literally let go and be present with just being grateful for us, for other people, for their choices, for our choices.
And to be able to see exactly. And what's really interesting, I found, like in this last year doing these with you,
Mhm.
doing these conversations, playing in the Being You Without Hiding Facebook group. If you watch the videos from a year ago and you watch these, there is such a spaciousness that's available that wasn't available to us last year, that we were not willing. It was available, but truly we were not willing to go there like we are like we are now. And that space of being that we have allowed ourselves to expand into is huge, 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 huge.
Yeah. And when you look at that space and you look at the animals, like with Bella, it's like there is no judgment, there is just a gratitude. There is just her being grateful and being present and just being love, like pure and simple, with no point of view.
Yeah, yeah. Just being.
Just
There's
being.
no doing involved. And see, with all of that stuff with image, there's a lot of doing involved.
Yeah.
And it's all about evaluating and judging, how am I going to be perceived in this situation? Or if it's one of our loved ones that we're so busy trying to control their life and living and
Mhm.
their choices because we think we know what's going to be good for them, or because we put them at a higher value than ourselves, for example. And then we feel that we've got to be out there and take care of everything and everyone else, lest the world fall apart before our very eyes. It's
Yeah,
a
exactly.
very different kind of a way of living versus
Hmm.
look at how the cats are just so willing to just be them.
Just be them. And
Use
if something um, she doesn't like, she
goes
actually, yeah, okay, sorry, I'm trying to comment and say that um,
that they just need to click on the video to be able to hear this. Yeah, it's one of our tech things sometimes. Trying to figure out how to get you on StreamYard, for example. And I've done it so many different times,
Mhm.
but it's interesting, when you're willing to be with that. There's that question that Dane asks a lot. If I know not this, what else is possible? If I know not this assumption about how this reality works, or if I know not this about what I think is good for this person, or whatever, if I know not this, if my life is not about dancing around
Mhm.
everybody else, then what would I choose? What else would be possible?
And
And
what else can we actually like? What are the infinite possibilities that we can choose to create different reality, not based on fear, not based on the judgment, projections, and rejections, just on the choice. And exactly how does it get any better than that? What else is possible? And what do you know are amazing tools that can change everything. And I think we talked enough.
yeah, I think so too. I think we did well. Your battery's charging, your cat's
Ah,
charging your batteries. I think this is pretty cool. And I'm so grateful that I really freaking grateful that we have these tools, because these
mhm.
tools take me to a place where I can see things from a different point of view. And I'm no longer stuck in well, this is life and this is how it's done. I
Yeah,
recognize that
no.
there's just one perspective, and there's so much more available, and there's so much more when we're willing to include ourselves. So I
So
wonder,
grateful.
is it
And thank you so much for being with us.
yeah, yes, now and in the future. Spank you better,
Yeah.
and
And we will be back.
we'll be back and have some fun. Whatever.
Absolutely.
So thank you. We're
Thank you.
grateful. And I'm grateful for you, Helen and Bella.
Bella
And
is gone, but we are grateful for her, and I'm grateful for you, Rachel, and
thank you.
for everybody. And thank you so much. And join Rachel on Instagram for
You take over today. And it, like the thing with that is, and I'll actually post the posts that I made on my profile, because I was like, what invitation could I be for people being them and not a curated, perfected version that they think is going to be received and accepted by others? So it's kind of like, it's an interesting way of looking at things, but what else is possible? And what gift could you be being you? What invitation would that open up in someone else's world about allowing them to be them too? Oh, and Helen and I are doing 2 Being You classes, one beginning tomorrow, Being You with the Earth, because that's kind of the greater body, you could say. And then the following weekend, we're doing a Being You class, Being You with the Body. And I wonder what contribution that could be. If you'd like to join us, just go to the Linktree links below. Rachel or Helen, it's below the video. It's in the video.
yeah,
And you've got the registration links there.
or just
And
go to accessconsciousness.com. And if you're like to play with the bodies and you have prerequisites, I'm doing 3-day body class.
And the foundation class. Those are the prerequisites, just to be
Yeah.
clear.
Yeah,
When is the body class?
it's a 26 through 28 in Asheville, North Carolina.
Awesome.
And what else is
Your
possible?
happy bodies and what else is possible. Mwah.
Mwah.
Bye, then.
Bye.